is it like growing up in a small town?
It's pretty boring because there's nothing really to do in this town. A lot of trouble gets caused because of it. It's quiet, peaceful. There's not, there's drama pretty much anywhere you go, but as far as it being a pretty safe place, it's pretty nice.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Would you rather live in a small town or a big town?
Definitely small. I'm not a people person or a city person or just lots of people being in the same area person. I definitely like, to have my space and having a close group of people and small knit community. It's nice.
Thank you. What is it like growing up in a small town?
Oh, growing up in a small town? Like I pretty much I'm gonna say growing up in a small island, man. But growing up in a small town is really cool because like you know each other, and you know pretty much like your neighbors and stuff, and like you like a small family. It's pretty cool. I like it. Yeah. What else? What else?
Would you rather live in a small town or a big one?
Oh, for me, man, I'd rather live in a small town than the big one. Because the big one is so hard to shine, but if you're in a small town, it's so easy to shine and everybody recognize it. It's a small family, and they see you like awesome, and you're popular right away.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, what is it like growing up in a small town?
It's nice and quiet, you know everyone, and so it's a lot nicer than the big city. I know, because I lived in the big city for like 10 years of my life, so yeah.
Great. Would you rather live in a small one or a big one?
Definitely a big one.
Why is that?
Bigger's better.
Can you say anything about that, Cooper?
Big's good.
Mr. Tompkins, what is it like growing up in a small town?
Growing up in a small town, you get to know everybody around you. Everybody knows of who everyone is walking down the streets. It's kind of a nice thing. I think that a lot of times smaller towns are safer places to live. That's why I like having my family here in Clatskanie for those two reasons. And what was the second question?
Would you rather live in a small town or a big one?
Ooh, tough question. Big town, there's more things going on. There's theaters, there's sporting events. But as far as raising a family goes, I think I would much rather live in a small town.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Later. Cassie, what is it like growing up in a small town?
Everyone knows each other, and that's about it. There's not really a lot to it.
Would you rather live in a small one or a big town?
I don't have an opinion on it because I've only lived in a small town. It doesn't bother me though.
Bo, what is it like growing up in a small town?
It's like a car. You kind of gotta change it up a little bit. You gotta upgrade to different girls. You got to make your life go a little faster.
Would you rather live in a small town or a big one?
Honestly, I'd rather live in a small town. Actually, I'd rather live out in the middle of nowhere with my friend Wyatt, my friend Gary, the janitor, and I don't have to worry about all the drama and the problems that come with living in this small mofoing town. I hate it here.
Okay, thank you. Sam, what is it like growing up in a small town?
It's okay. It's not great, but it's alright.
Alright, would you rather live in a small town or a big town?
Small town.
Why is that?
Because I don't like big, open, or not open, but crowded places. Small town, way to go.
Okay, thank you. Ellie, how is it growing up in a small town like Clatskanie?
Well, since I moved here, it's a closer community than a bigger place, and you really get to know people.
Okay. Would you rather live in a small town or a big one?
I'd rather live in like the in-between where you get the luxuries of both sides.
Okay. That's a good answer. Thank you. Well, what is
Hey,
it?
Brandon.
What is it like growing up in a small town?
Grew up in Longview and lived out kind of out in the country, so it was great.
Would you rather live in a small town or a big town?
Living in Longview, being a small town, it was great. I wouldn't change my childhood for anything.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll see you next period.
See you.
Skirvin, what is it like growing up in a small town?
It's better in the city.
Okay. And would you rather live in a small one or a big one?
Small town.
Why is that?
Because I like to chop wood.
Ben, what is it like growing up in a small town?
I didn't grow up here, so
How is it growing up in a small town like Costco?
if you do something stupid, everybody in the town knows about it the next day.
Would you rather live in a big town or a small town?
I'd rather live in a big town. There's more people,
Why would you like that?
more variety. You know, like be able to get out and get to know people that you don't know. You know that like basically in a big town, once you think you've met everybody, but there's still going to be a whole bunch of people out there. In a small town, you pretty much meet everybody and then you know everybody at that point.
Okay, thank you. Da, 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 da. Looking for people to fill their class, and it's amazing. And there's Froke. He's going to give me the door. Give me the door. Give me the door. Give me the door. Yeah, give me the door. Give me the door. Come on. Come on, please. What is it like growing up in a small town, Froke?
Awesome, I enjoy it. I don't like cities and people.
Would you rather live in a small town or a big one?
A small one.
Why is that?
Because I just told you, because I don't like cities or people.
Thank you. Cole, what is it like growing up in a small town?
It blows. There's a lot of drama. Like, one day you'll be walking down the street, and then, I'm not going to say any names, but will be sitting down here, and she'll be like, and then, yeah.
Would you rather live in a small town or a big town?
I'd rather live in a small town just because I know everybody. Granted, again, the drama sucks, but yeah, I'd rather live in a small town.
Thank you.
You are very welcome.